Good morning, everybody. It's August 21st. That's a Thursday. Oh boy. Just wanted to let you know I got my thinking cap on again. I'm back on thinking for the veterans. Amen for that. Here's my thinking, right?
2,000 full-time equivalents from FY21 to FY24. And did all those people make things better for veterans? No. In fact, VA performance actually got worse.
Oh, so you have more people and the VA gets worse off. We made a decision on your claim for service-connected compensation received on November 1st, 2011. The only problem with that, Doug, and all other veterans at the VA that are handling my shit, is I didn't EAS till May 7, 2012. So how can the VA make a decision on my benefits, rights, privileges, life, blah, 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 in 2011 when I'm not even in their systems till 2012? Is that prejudice or time travel? Now, here's my thinking today, right? I had a brain burst. I had a thought. Oh, my God. Why, right, is the veterans' health care even in the hand of the Veteran Affairs, right? What do you mean, Matt? You need veterans' health. You need Veteran Affairs to help the veterans. Kinda. Like, here's the thing, right? The VA paid someone to look at my DD-214 and then look at my effective dates, May 8th, 2012. That's correct. And then they paid someone to put that in there, May 1st, 2011. Someone at the VFW got paid for making this mistake, and it's through the government, because without the government, I wouldn't have went to the VFW. Why isn't there a system where I can enter my own information? If I was in charge of entering my information, I wouldn't be waiting 12 years for this to get corrected. Now, I don't really think this guy
VA wait times for primary care
is in a hurry to help me.
15.7 days to 24.3 days.
Because he's talking, we have 52,000 employees. And then he's talking here, the backlog went down 25% in 3 months. That's an achievement. That's good. Hello.
Everybody's not
25%?
We've got a lot of great things.
Hello.
We'll be at the White House just in a little bit talking about making.
And then, we're at 25%. We almost have zero backlog. Oh, that's too good. Oh, rapid response? Oh, worst service ever. Fuck them. Don't need them. No veteran does. That was made for transgender people. Hello. But anyway. We got the backlog down 25% with all them 52,000 employees we just hired. We're doing too good of a job for our veterans. So you know what they did? I'll show you. Don't worry, we're just scrolling because this is all the good news they have to show. And it's all show. It ain't good news. But anyway, let's get to it. Oh, we've already cut backlog of 25%. That was in June, he said that.
Tell us about it.
2 months ago.
Now that the Mission Act was, I don't grow, ever been done in light of all
So
this.
here it is. More than 2 million disability claims faster than ever. Wow, we did such a good job. We're reducing our disability backlog and getting veterans the answers they deserve. Awesome. Awesome. That was when? June 24th. Okay. No, wait, it gets better. It's like, such good news, such good news, such good news, right? Such good news. You're doing things, yeah. Numbers, magic, bullshit, money laundering, yeah. Because do I have my money yet? Again, if I entered... You have to self-enter information when you make a social media account. It don't matter if you're on Facebook, Twitter, X, YouTube, Meta, Instagram, fucking whatever. You make the account. I could do the copy and paste that logic to veterans. Veterans can make their own accounts. VA just has to do the testing to verify what they're saying is true. Hello, that's never been a problem for me. The only problem has been the VA entering dates that are messed up. Again, right here. We made a decision November 1st, 2011. Despite you being in the Marine Corps then, by this record, and you not even being in our healthcare system yet, by this record. So we could put a record in between two good records, fuck that up, and make you go off the one that's fucked up instead of the good records. Why? Still waiting 12 years later, Doug. You aren't the one doing this conspiracy thing, but it is your responsibility. to take care of my issue since it's a veteran affairs issue. Nothing else. Not rapid response. I don't need them. I just need the VA to unfuck the error they caused. And then after that, they can stand by for my follow-up lawsuit, which actually does require arguments. The date change doesn't require arguments. You fucked up, fix it. Okay. The backlog of veterans is down 30%. Yay. It went from 3 months, it went down 25%. But then he pats himself on the back for bringing it down another 5% with another 3 months. Now me, that shows complacency. But anyway, here, let me show you what I was just... Let me show you. We're getting there. Oh, new funding. Oh. Improved funding. Oh, man. Yeah, money's not an issue, but Matt getting his $127,293 is. Holy shit, right? Oh. Isn't this just great? Anyway, I woke up this morning thinking, hey, maybe today's the day. Nope. Oh, cutting through red tape. Yay. Giving you rapid response instead of healthcare. Yay. Again, I don't need rapid response. I just need someone to fix the date error. The VA messed up. VA terminates union contracts. Oh, yay. Wow. I don't care if that makes the union bosses outraged. Yay. He doesn't care. Yeah, he just cares about veterans. He just cares about giving numbers that are undisputable. And if you have any knowledge about disputing those numbers, that's bad. So you're fired. Bye-bye. Oh, Speaker Pelosi. I don't like her, but I also don't like Doug Collins, so fuck you both. But anyway, we're not even at the good part yet. Hold on. Oh, yay. 37% down. Yay. Wow, historic process. I'm still waiting. 12 years? I'm still waiting. With all this historic processing and achievement, when's my day going to come? Am I going to kill myself? Or are you going to unfucking error, which I had to live with for 12 years? We don't give veterans anything. Damn right. Damn right. And you don't deny us based off facts. You deny us based off wrongly entered dates. Oh, whoops. Oh, whoops. Now again, if I'm given permission to enter my own data in their records, hello, I'm not entering, I have 20s, I'm not saying what disabilities I have and rating myself. I'm diagnosing myself. You're going to test me for it. Hello. But anyway, if I was in charge of entering my own data, you think I would have fucked this up? If veterans are in charge of entering their own data, you know what happens? I thought about this. There would be some instances where they commit fraud and forgery. Oh, that's so bad, Matt. That's why we got to do this. This is fraud and forgery right here. The worst case that would happen if veterans entered their own information is what would happen if the VA entered it. Fraud and forgery. VA did that to me. I wouldn't do that to myself. So I would be better off without the VA if they just did healthcare and tests. And not fucked up dates, right? Fraud and forgery. Anyway, worst case scenario, veterans get in charge of entering their own data. Fraud and forgery. Fraud and forgery can be corrected, right? Suicide can't. Oh, I'm going to kill myself because the VA fucked up this date. And then I'm waiting 12 years later for them to fix the date they fucked up 12 years ago. That's going to be my reason for why I kill myself, because of the VA. But, oh man. That's now. That's here. That's today. Fraud and forgery by them in my name. If veterans were entrusted with entering their own data, again, a veteran might be accused of committing fraud, but then the VA'd have to prove they're fraudsters and using the system to gain an advantage. But either way, fraud and mistakes are bad. But they're better than suicide. So would we rather have veterans who are entrusted with millions worth of gear? Mind you, I was entrusted with millions worth of gear. From guns, ammo, to armor, to helmets, to fucking satellites, to driving Humvees. Hello, $1 million of equipment goes into all that. Y'all entrusted me with $1 million of equipment, but you don't trust me in reporting a false data entry in my name? You think I'm just doing this for fun? 12 years For fun? Again, if I was in charge of entering when you made the decision, I would have entered when you made the decision, not left it a generic template entry that was never copy and pasted over like it was supposed to be. Take May 8th, copy, highlight November 1st, 2011, and you paste. They didn't do that. I would have. If I was in charge of handling all this responsibility, I wouldn't fuck up and then ignore and avoid the veteran of which the file I fucked up for 12 years. And then on top of that, I'll be damned if I sent them any kind of medical suicide service. They're not suicidal. They've just been asking 12 years for someone to correct a date. And for some reason, whenever he requests that date be changed, the whole entire 52,000 employees at the VA act like I'm speaking a fucking foreign language. Hello? Is today the day we're going to wake up and realize, oh, the VA isn't as big and powerful as it seems. It's just entrusted by millions of veterans, and we are taking advantage of that. We being the VA. Hello. I don't want unions part of the VA. I want veterans in the Veteran Affairs, okay? So when I need an attorney, I can go to the Veteran Affairs and there's an attorney. And it's not like I need an attorney to sue Epstein or Diddy. I need an attorney to hold the VA accountable for the error they put in my name. You know, fraud and forgery. 12 years. Still waiting. How many days left? How many fucking days left? 132 days left. That's a lot of fucking time when we're talking war. And right now, I'm on a paper war with fucking VA. I went from fighting the Taliban and ISIS and ISIL and Hamas and Houdinis and whodunits and Houthis and whatever. I went there, came back. 10 years, we took out the world's biggest bad guy. I went to you, went home, and it's taking you 12 years to fix a date? 12 years for a date! 10 years to strategically take out a terrorist. What's harder to do? Hello? Oh, well, all you gotta do is aim a gun and shoot someone, and that's your... Hello? Trump? Hello? Obviously not anyone can do it. Hello? Thank God for that. Hello? Anyway, I would love Donald Trump to come to my house and look at these VA matters so we could laugh about it for like the first 2 minutes, and then we could realize, oh, well, I already know. But then my president could realize, oh, no, this really did happen to you. This is something you read on a highlight, a news fucking headline. Oh, VA makes a mistake, which had costed a veteran $127,293 in 12 years of his life. Oh. Because they did that, this veteran assured that. Oh, is that fair? I don't think so. And again, I have full faith if the veterans have to enter their data themselves and the VA has to overlook it. Oh, man. We're killing 10 birds with one stone. We're eliminating extra hirees at the VA, eliminated waste, paying someone to just sit there do nothing. The same person that entered this wrong gets paid from the same people that provide you life-saving health care. So whoever did this at the VA is giving the VA a bad name when the VA does save some people. It's just the benefit side of the processing isn't that. Rapid response via telephone call soliciting suicide isn't that. Doug Collins being in charge of the VA isn't that. Put me in charge. Everything he did from then till now, I'll do times 2. And I'll unfuck my own case. Hello? Hello? Oh yeah. Put me, the new secretary of the VA, and the old one, Doug Collins, in the courtroom, and let us answer for how the VA made a decision in November 1st, 2011, in regards to my file. When what? My first date in the VA is May 8th, 2012. Hello? Hello? So why'd they put November 1st, 2011? And furthermore, why is it 12 years later I'm still reporting that error and it's not fixed? Again, you have 133 days until I go on a hunt for Joe Biden and Bob Casey and then kill myself after I kill them too. Or you could unfuck the error and let us all live happily ever after. We could just make believe after you fix the error that you didn't make an error and it cost me 12 years. And threats to public officials. Hello. If that error wasn't there, I wouldn't be threatening people. It's just weird and coincidental. Government and VA are parallel and a team and do communicate. So why couldn't Bob Casey and Joe Biden arrange a conspiracy? Hello. They could. I couldn't. You couldn't. Most people listening. But if you work in government and have ties to the VA, you could. Now, mind you, they fucked up the error, which it costed me the money and the years. And then they're working with Loan Depot, communicating with them to try and evict me from my house. That's blockbusting! And literally using government to do it. Oh, well, we owe you money, but we're not going to pay you the money we owe. We want you to pay Loan Depot first, of which you owe money, even though you took on that debt after the fact that we owed you money first. So you're going to make me pay my loan mortgage when I don't have the money because you have it first? Yeah. Well, how can I do that? How can I pay someone when I don't have the money to pay them and you're withholding my money, saying I have to pay them? Well, you can't. That's the whole thing. We're here to make you crazy, not to give you a happy ending. But being crazy is a happy ending for you, not me. Right, we're here to satisfy ourselves with your life. We're here to fuck you over, essentially. And then use the VA as the disguise on why we did it. Because we care about your health care, and we don't want you to commit suicide. But we obtained your POA through targeting you through our systems to ensure whenever we made this decision, we were legally in our right power to do so. Yeah, sure. But you still fucked up the date. You could say you have all the permission you want, but you don't have permission to enter fraud information. That's literally a crime. Hello. Is anyone that punishes criminals going to charge the criminals that are criming me, or what? Am I just going to live with the crime and kill myself for it? And again, I'm not dying a fucking martyr. I'm not dying for my causes. I'm dying, gonna kill myself because you fucked up and refused to unfuck it. That's it. Hello. 12 years? Over this? 12 years. For far too long, it's been too complicated for veterans to get the benefits they've earned. We're fixing that. Let me tell you, if you have 12 years of waiting on a date correction, there's new paperwork and processes which only take a year to get through. And let me tell you, there's some of the best paperworks I ever did PDF format together myself. Yep, you just have to fill out page 1 to 100, and then once you do that, send it to this fucking address, and then send a copy to that loo-da-da-doo, and then boop-ba-dee-boo. And then make a copy for your own records, upload it to Google Drive, and then, hey, government is Google's office, and Google Drive is there for government. We just have the luxury of saying we never received it through the mail. Yeah. But anyway, veterans. Why should we entrust veterans with entering their own information? I mean, they go to war and we entrust them with $1 million worth of gear, and then they come back and they're under the impression we're going to take care of them because that's what we say at the Veteran Affairs. And then we lie through our teeth, we fuck up dates, and 12 years later, we still don't care. Thanks, Doug. 12 years later, you still don't care. And I'm waiting. Waiting in the meantime. Just waiting in the meantime. Just waiting in the meantime. But anyway. If I put the same effort I gave in service, if I gave that effort to the VA, there would be no suicides. And again, I would change the system because I believe in the veterans. I don't just talk shit for the headlines and then leave whenever we get the funding behind the scenes like a Doug Collins does. And then fuck union. Again, let me say this for the record. I'm pro-union. I'm just ashamed in America we as people have to be protected by a union so we don't get taken advantage of by our employers, you know? I like everyone having a safety net and a protector when they're getting fucked with. Imagine if I had that for this. Imagine if I had that for my VA issue, right? Oh, but the VA takes care of VA. There's no reason to have you. What if you don't? What if you put in a date that holds no merit to my records and you force me to live with that data? First off, that's fraud data. Fraudulent data. Hello, that's not real data. And it's forged in my name. So that's fraud and forgery, literally committed by the government against me. Is this for me or against me? Well, if they would have put in the right date, it would have been for you. But if they put in an error in the wrong date, it's against you. Okay, so what did they put in? Well, that date does say November 1st. And what does this date say? May 8th. What's this date say? May 7th. Okay, so if I'm a Marine May 7th and a veteran May 8th, what's the first date of entry I'm in the VA? I would say May 8th. But being a VA rep, I can't tell because that's what the paper says, and we have to protect the paper and commit to the error. Not the veteran, sorry. But anyway, 133 days left. I have more faith Donald Trump will show up to my house and we'll bullshit and get along, and then after that, maybe he'll hire me. Maybe I'll be Donald Trump's personal representative for the VA. Hell, I'd like doing that. I report my first-hand experiences kind of at least weekly, right? Sometimes daily. Why wouldn't I like reporting to just one person who can actually help veterans? I'm reporting to the world, and the world's committing a conspiracy to shut me up. I would love to just talk to Trump and see what we talk about trickle down in reality. Like, hey, why don't we entrust the veterans to enter their own data? And then, hello, why doesn't the VA just give health care? And say like, oh, I'm at home, I'm putting in my disabilities on my side of the computer, I think I have anxiety, I think I have sleep apnea, I think I have something wrong with my back. And then, hello, I enter that from this house. And then the VA gets it in their system within a day. Right? Since we're not traveling, since we're not doing all this face-to-face and it's all remote, everything should be quicker accessible, right? Right. Anyway, so if I put down sleep apnea, whatever, anxiety, blah, 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 I'm not putting down, oh, I'm 100% disabled because of anxiety. I'm just reporting I have anxiety. Let's do the test. And then once the test comes back, that's it. And again, the only debates should be over the test results. Because again, even though the results come back, and they're coded in a super secure system where you're not even able to lie about it. But like, I have the evidence, sometimes people are stupid. Maybe not even stupid, they're just ignorant of our ways because they've lived another way, so they're used to that way. So to them, it's like muscle memory. For example, when you get these kind of numbers, you're supposed to weigh each variable independently. Did this number get above 4? No. Did this number get above 4? Yes. Did that number get above 4? No. Okay, so he does have sleep apnea, but only in this one position, so it's minor. It is still sleep apnea, but it's minor, and we can fix this. We just have to get him off his back while he sleeps. Okay. Well, give him a sleep aid, so a pillow he can sleep on, on the side. Okay. Wait, should we give that to him, or should we tell him that's what he needs to get? Well, are we going to give him money for being disabled for that disability? Well, that's up to you, boss. Oh, it is? Well, then no. Give me his money, tell him he doesn't rate it, and give him a limp dick excuse. Okay. And that's where we are now. Anyway, again, so the VA isn't above fucking up test results. Especially when they use foreign rich people's daughters as the nurse instead of an actual USA-trained nurse where she's actually accredited to give life-providing health care instead of just accidentally misreading test results and taking equations when there's 3 independent variables and she should know better being that. It's her workplace, not mine. Why do I know better than she does? And that's her workplace, not mine. Anyway, so yeah, I am endorsing the personal information can be entered by the veteran, and the VA can provide health care. and coverages. Like, that's what you report them a disability, they give you coverage for it. Hello, Social Security. Yeah, that's state. Hello, you go to school, get bullied, get depression, you go report to Social Security, and there's your fucking disability payment for being depressed. Because, again, you weren't born depressed. You went through a system, and society made you depressed. Maybe you got bullied. Maybe whatever. Maybe the government tricked you into being trans for like a year in school. Don't know. Don't care. But anyway. Yeah. Still waiting 12 years later for a date correction. The VA entered wrong in my name, and for 12 fucking years they refused to fix it. So yeah, that's why the VA owes me what? $127,293. How'd you get that total? Oh, you see 2018 on the table? That's whenever I was granted 100%. I think February 2018, I was granted 100%. So from 2018 till forever, I'm good on a monthly basis. I'm just fighting for what they didn't pay me from 2012 to 2018 that first month, which was my back pay. Now, how'd you get that? I took what they paid me right here, actual. So at the time they were paying me $250 a month. They should have been paying me $3,106. But again, because of that date, I have 2 files. So one of my files is buried in the back with the error, and that is why there's green for 6 years. So my file 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, that file needs correction. The file from 2018 beyond doesn't. But I would like all my injuries and disabilities that I've been reporting initially from the start to all have the same effective dates of 2012. I don't like the fact that they got changed for whatever fucking reason in 2018. You see how 2012, 2013, 17, 18, 18. Yeah, that's signs of conspiracy. Well, why would they change the date 6 years later to match the date 6 years later? Because they fucked up and refused to fix it for a while. Again, no one in the world that understands a calendar days or business days, right? They know November 1st, 2011 comes before May 8th, 2012. So in order to make a decision, when I hand you my record, right, in 2012, and you give me a paper saying we made a decision in 2011, it makes me believe you never looked at the record I gave you. So again, whose record am I living off of? It's not mine. Again, $200 million lawsuit at least. $100 million for myself, $100 million for my team. What's up, bitch? Anyway, is today the day? Are we gonna wake up and say, oh, by golly, we did fuck up. By golly, what would my daddy Dude Collins say if that happened to me? Well, it wouldn't happen to me, because I'm a privileged guy. My daddy would make sure that never happened to me. Well, ain't that just great, Doug? A lot of us veterans don't get the same benefits and privileges that the privilege and benefit deal like you, Doug. So are you going to take up a stance in my defense, or are you going to continue working with the VA and unleashing rapid response on me for your conspiracy? The only time you reach out to me is for the conspiracy. You're not reaching out to me to fix the error and give me my money and let me be. You're reaching out to hound me. You dead yet? Nope. You dead yet? Nope. Oh, man, you're making shit up. Oh, I am. Kathy is the suicide hotline. It was a suicide hotlines for veterans, and then trans came. Oh, suicide research comes out, 22 veterans kill themselves a day. And then COVID came. Oh, COVID, doc. Hello. Democratic plague is what COVID was. Hello. So, yeah. So, are we going to keep acting like Matthew's crazy? Or are we going to see what the fuck he's talking about now and give me my money and an apology and just wait? The same 12 years I've been waiting, you can wait a year for the massive lawsuit to begin. So give me my money and apology this year so I can work on the massive lawsuit for the next 3 years, right? Why should I drag this on? Why not handle it all while Doug Collins is the VA rep? Huh? What? Well, Matt, that makes too much sense. Holding a company accountable for their fuck-ups and then working with the top guy in charge for the time he's entrusted to serve that position? You're going to use the whole time he's there to solidify your innocence and get your money? An apology? Man, again, imagine if the VA never made that mistake and put in November 1st, I wouldn't get all these calls from Kathy. Answering those calls is more work from my end, not the VA's end. That's just a privilege to hit a button and send an automated thing. Hi, this is a hotline. Are you going to kill yourself? Call us back. Thank you. Wow. This is the VA right now under Doug Collins. Using social media to target veterans that are going through a tough time and make them believe they're crazy. When, again, I was entrusted with millions of gear. We took out Bin Laden in 10 years. And you mean to tell me it's taken 52,000 plus employees in 12 years to correct this error they entered? Again, they entered. Hello, if I'm in the war and we say no shooting anybody and I accidentally shoot somebody, guess what happens? The enemy gets to shoot me back. Oh, we're all dead. Well, we're not all dead. Just the person that shot someone, he gets shot too. Now there's 2 dead instead of everybody dead. Wow. Karma? What goes around comes around? What? Still waiting for my 12 years to be fixed. I didn't fuck with anyone for 12 years. I never really fucked with anyone. And I never was the person to hold a grudge. But, does anyone else have the power or story to hold the government accountable for 12 years of their life that they fucked up? Besides slaves, who were all great-grandparents at this time, which have the great-great-great-great siblings or whatever kids, great-great-great-grandkids are fighting for my reparations I never got 100 years ago. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Only I am a grandkid by age. I actually was a slave by service. Yeah, you sign away your rights to serve the country. You become a country slave. Oh, boy. So I was a slave. I'm fighting for what they do. What should I call that? Reparations? Or my back pay? Either way, the government needs to give me what they owe before I go super crazy in this super bitch, you know? I'm keeping my targets down to just Bob Casey and Joe Biden, but I can expand them. I'd like to not think bad. If I had the money and apology, I would think karma does exist. You just have to give it a long time. Like 12 years. For a 10-minute mistake. They took 10 minutes, didn't copy and paste, and left me with that for 12 years. Doug Collins, what would your daddy say? If I went home and said, Dad, I entered a date wrong 12 years ago, and then this veteran showed me it now, and he's making me feel bad because I made a mistake. Dad, what should I do? You know what, son? Don't ever feel bad. You're a goddamn Collins. We're the privilege and wealth of this nation. If you can't make someone look fucked up because you fucked up, you don't deserve the word privilege in your name. Doug Privilege Collins. You know? Hello. We gonna fix the air today, or do I have to keep making cuts on people metaphorically in the digital atmosphere? Because again, have I had my money, I wouldn't be online making all this stupid shit all the motherfucking time. How about that? But imagine if I get my apology of my money, my socials disappear. Now what are they gonna hold me liable for being crazy about? Oh, that whole time they were making an imaginary record to try and frame me as being crazy. I can just hit delete on, but they can't? Oh, man, it's like a parachute. Mental health parachute, delete button, boop. Now what are you judging me over? Again, the VA has the same mentality my grandma has. I used to live with my grandma. We used to know each other on a daily basis. Now, within the past 3 years, I think I visited her house 3 times. And one of those times she said, "You're crazy now. You went crazy because of the war in the VA." No, I went crazy because the VA refused to fix their error. But anyway, why is my grandma that I've seen 3 times in 3 years making a rash judgment on me? Oh, again, what is she judging my crazy off of? My social media posts or my daily life? If you're not in my daily life, you don't get the privilege to say I'm blah, 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 or blah, blah, blah. Okay? Okay. Thank you. Now that's my grandma. VA does even worse. But at least my grandma, I can talk to and correct her mindset. Hey, Grandma, I know you're older than me and an elder, and I would never disrespect you, but please don't assume I'm crazy when you only seen me 3 days in 3 years, and the only reason you have to talk about me is because we used to live together. Isn't that crazy how we no longer speak? Because I went to the Marine Corps, came back, and you just kind of like copied and pasted over me, you know? Oh, he left, so Lori and her kids came, and then they were supposed to stay 3 months, but they ended up staying 8 years, and then we lost the house because no one wanted to pay rent, despite me living here as Kay, the grandma, and my daughter living here as Lori, which could work, and then her having 2 kids, which could work as well. But instead of them providing income, we just evicted the house, and we leave each other. Bye. Hello, isn't that crazy? Anyway, I just find it crazy I'm still waiting on the VA to fix an error they committed in my name, literally committing fraud and forgery. Now again, once I have my money, I'm bringing my grandma to my mansion. And if she doesn't want to live with me, I'll give her a fucking small house. The same kind of house she has now, just around me, with a fucking washer and dryer. So she don't have to leave her house. She could DoorDash every fucking day if she wants to. If she's around me, I could bring her whatever the fuck I'm cooking. She could cook for me. She used to like that shit. When she can just spend time in the kitchen cooking for the family instead of stressing about bills and money because she doesn't have a male to bring in the bread, and she comes from the generation where being a housewife was the way. Hello. Again, if I had my money, I wouldn't have shit to bitch about. I would just have my reality to fix, and I would have the means to fix it. Hello, but I can't house my grandma when I'm under threat of eviction, right? And I can't pay Loan Depot when the government in the VA owes me $127,293, right? And on top of that, my house is a 40-year VA guaranteed home loan. I haven't even lived in this house 1/4 of the amount of time I'm guaranteed for. So how am I being threats of eviction being committed against me? The VA guarantees my home. Is Loan Depot going to go to war with the VA? No. Do they want to go to war with Matthew? They really don't want to, but they want to suck my money. But anyway, out of all this bullshit, right? The VA, SNAP, and making threats, DOJ targeting me, telling me they're going to take me to court, and then Moncaruder. Why, out of all that shit, do I not have a court date for the VA yet? Do I not have a date for SNAP? And they just called me yesterday, told me, could take 90 days. So I have 59 days left waiting on SNAP to assign a date where we call on the telephone and I tell them why they're fucked up. Because you're including my federal benefits as income when it's not federal income. It's federal benefits of me being disabled. Hello, if I'm no longer disabled, I no longer get the income, right? Okay, so it's not income, it's disability. Now, mind you, them at the State Department, they're confused on pensions and disability. I have the paperwork and the mouth to show them the difference. If you count a pension, that's a retirement plan. That's fine. That is their income. Disability is not. It's whatever I get because I'm fucked up for serving in the military. Like, I went through my 5 years, and I barely went to health medics. We called it regimental care. I barely went to sick call. I maybe did once, and that was after my car crash. And that's because my back was fucked up. And instead of seeing me because I fucked up my back in a car crash, they saw a grunt because he ate 6-month-old expired chicken nuggets and he had a tummy ache. I wonder why. Did he have a hike to go through that day? Did he schedule his tummy ache so he could lay in bed in the air conditioning and guzzle down water while everyone else is out hiking 10 miles? Oh, what a good grunt. Anyway, not all grunts are shitbags, but they exist, just like everyone else. But anyway, any fucking way, right? Why am I thinking about the Marines in 2025 when I haven't served and I got out in 2012? Well, because the VA doesn't want me to think anything after that fact. Mentally, they want me locked down like I am in their service, and they're my boss still. But no, I'm your boss now. You fucked up my paycheck, and now you're going to give me what you owe, plus compensation. So I'll gladly accept that handwritten apology from Trump and the check for $127,293. And if Donald Trump wants to double that, if he wants to sign a check for me out of his account, because he might think, maybe the VA account might bounce that check. I mean, they put in the date wrong. What if they give me a check, but make it so I can't cash it in 10 years? Oh! Anyway, Donald Trump could go above and beyond. This is his glorious moment to come and save me from my fucking misery. And mind you, I came out swinging against Trump when I first found out he was running for president the first time. But again, mind control is a powerful tool. Looking back, I don't care if his name was Drumpf. Whoever comes to my door looking like Donald Trump or Donald Trump, they would be allowed in. If you came to my door looking like Doug Collins, I would ask what you're doing here first. I don't trust you. Especially when, we hired 52,000. Yeah, we got the backlog down. Oh, yeah, I didn't show you what I was going to show you. But then we brought the forces down so good, we had to reduce the force. Because we did so good. So here, let me find that bit real quick. Look right here. We're processing claims faster than ever. And backlog for veterans down more than 37%.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. It's me looking at me, and then we're going to turn and look at you. Oh, aren't we cute? Anyway. Improved funding. You got to give Matt his $127,293, right? Is that accounted for?
Is over the last 4 years, we had an increase in personnel, increase in hundreds of billions of dollars, at the $100 billion in the budget at the VA, but yet our wait times for our patients went up. Our wait times...
Now, look at that as covert bragging. We got billions and billions. Now we're making you wait. Ha, ha, ha. Anyway, all this good stuff, right? And then here, they went from 25% in 3 months to 17% in the next 3. That's a reduction of work effort. Maybe because of that reduction of force. Why do you hire 52,000 over the course of 3 years just to let 30,000 by the end of 1 year go? Hello. I hate Joe Biden. But if he employed 52,000 to help Veteran Affairs get their Veteran Affairs, why is Privileged Doug Privileged Collins reducing that force by more than half? You're cutting people off employee checks, and you're making it harder for the veteran to get service with less people to go to. Now, mind you, when I'm talking veterans, I don't include rapid response. I got more contact with rapid response than VA officials who could actually fix my issue. So why am I getting psychologically operated into soliciting suicide instead of them just fixing the error they fucked up in regards to a date? Don't know, don't care. Yeah, the time for that's done. I want my money, I want my apology. Again, 133 days. If it gets down and we go till next year without my money and apology, I'm going apeshit. I'm taking that first day paycheck of the first year, buying weapons. Oh, what kind, Matt? Oh, yeah. Maybe a machete. That's available. Maybe a scythe. That's good. Maybe some manure. Maybe I'll just pack my car. I'll just pack it full of manure. And then I'll make a fucking fuse. and a trigger on a phone, so whenever I call it, it vibrates, sends power, a spark, and then boom. Manure bomb. Kind of like the bomb that took out the fucking barracks. The Marine barracks, right? That got taken out by a 500 manure bomb. They filled a U-Haul and then blew it up next to the Marine barracks and killed the Marines. Now, I don't have anything against the Marines. I love the Marines. I am a Marine. I love our active duty. I joke about the Army. I spent time with the Army in Kabul. Hello. I like them. I just know there's way more people in the Army than the Marine Corps. So subsequently, there's way more shitbags and fuck-ups. Hello. That's just how numbers go. If you have 1 out of every bad 10 and there's only 10 Marines, that means only one of them's bad. But if you have 100 Army and there's 1 in 10 that are bad, that means 10 are bad out of the 100. Hello. That's numbers. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking numbers to the VA like they understand. They entered my date wrong. They don't understand numbers. We brought the force down 25% in 3 months, and then I fired 30,000 people so we could continue money laundering, and now we're only down 17% in the same amount of time. I wonder why that is. Dad, why is that? You see how, like, whenever Doug Collins says something, he just goes to his parents? I don't, unless I'm dying. Hello, ask my mom. I only went to her when I had to get money that no bank would give me a loan for, and the VA was evicting me through Loan Depot. As soon as I got that, $1,000 to save my house, the next week the VA gave me a back pay. So that must have been back in 2018. No, maybe 2020. But they back paid me since 2018. So isn't that fucked up? Hey, Mom, can you give me money because the VA's not giving me the money they owe me? And then my mom gives me money and then I save my house. And then the week later the VA gives me my money that I've been saying the whole time. Imagine if they would have gave me my money. I wouldn't have had to go to my mom at all. When I go to my parents, I'm going to bring good news. Not, oh, Mom, I need money. Right? Right. Again, did Doug Collins go to war? I know he was in the service as a goddamn Army officer, but, like, did he go to the war? Or did he just stay stateside and, like, Tim Watts touring the country? Touring the country. Getting the privilege to travel on the taxpayer's dime. Hello. The taxpayer aren't paying for your fun and entertainment of touring the country. They're paying for you to protect us and keep us safe. You just accepted the money and did your bullshit. I didn't. I protected everybody. I was part of that 10-year service that took out that one big bad guy. And you are part of that 12-year service that can't take 5 minutes to fix a date entry error that a bottom level person at the VA is responsible for. This ain't a doctor bad mistake. This ain't a board mistake. This ain't a regional thing mistake. It's overlook. I'll give you that. You overlooked it. But who made the mistake? A level entry person. If you go to Chick-fil-A, imagine if the person at the cash register fucked up your order. You ordered nuggets and they gave you a salad. And they refused to give you what you ordered, but they demand you pay. That's what's going on at the VA right now. That date isn't mine. Why is it in my file? Oh, when you put it like that, that's just really easy. That's all it needs to be. All the information in my file should be about me. That's where my selfish comes out. Yeah, I'm not gathering a health record for John Cena. Hello. Yeah, put his paycheck in my files. That'll fix everything. But, hello. 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 Again, who put the error in my file? Whoever did that, I should hold civilly responsible. I should sue the VA for protecting that criminal. Abating and abiding a criminal. Because they put this entry error in. November 1st, 2011, I was in Arizona, I believe. In the Marine Corps. Again, one of few, maybe 2 or 3, selected to go to the West Coast. I was one of 3 for Bridgeport. And I was either one of 2 or 3 for Arizona. I know my roommate was O'Neill. He was cool as shit. He was S2. He reminded me of like a younger version of Justin Bieber. And again, good times in Arizona. No sweat, despite it being 90 degrees. There's just no humidity. So any perspiration you generate just goes right in the atmosphere. It was fucking great. The only time I sweat when I did go in the gym, because there was AC. That was expected. That you just got over. But, yeah. I know he was my roommate, and we went to the chow hall one time, and he got chewed out for wearing gym gear, even though his shorts had pockets in them. So anything with pockets, even if it's mesh, is considered dress attire. So he got yelled at by a staff sergeant. Mind you, we're there to help them, and he's yelling at him in the line to eat based off how he looks. Mind you, O'Neill was S2. S2 is Intel. Or admin. I think admin's S1, S2's Intel. But either way, their offices work side by side. They know each other's shit. So, my faith in O'Neill knowing the USMC orders was better than the staff sergeant yelling at him for being in regulation. You know what I mean? But again, I was corporal at the time. He's lance corporal at the time. What are we to say to a staff sergeant other than aye sir, yes sir? Hello. So yeah, a small world. We go through that, me and O'Neill at the chow hall. And I'm applying for an appeal for SNAP benefits. In parallel, for begging for help for my VA issues. How fucked am I? Anyway, I just need one attorney, one lawyer, and my life is done. And by that, I mean good. Like, this suffering is done. My life can begin. After that lawsuit, I'll have my money. I already have my plans. I have 2 sets of plans. If I get an apology and the money, if I don't get an apology and the money. If I do get the shit, my life becomes great. I am in a great spot. Again, besides government involved in my life, trying to overrule it, I'm not that bad off. Good house, although I want it redone because it was built in 1960 and around Pennsylvania, there's a lot of mold. So I want to, boom, get a fucking wrecking ball, smash this motherfucking house, get a bulldozer, put everything in a fucking trash can, get it to the waste fill, and then I want a week to build my fucking mansion. Mind you, I know it can be done. I used to frame houses. When you work building houses as your job, that shit is so routine and orderly, you have new houses every 7 days. First 2 days, framers. In between that, cement guys. Mind you, you don't want people hammering nails and dropping hammers when there's fresh cement, right? You frame the house, you get the cement in, then everything else comes after. Last thing you do is side the house and the roof. That's it. In 7 days, you can get a $350-ish house built. Which, mind you, I'm probably going to take the same amount of room that, you know, the people around here are used to doing. It's just I'm going to compact it. It's going to be a lot and a little, you know? But, first, I need my money. First, the VA has to acknowledge they fucked up. So when's that going to happen? It should have already happened. It's already 12 years too late. But anyway, I'd like to end this year on the good side of things. So if we could forward all this bullshit to Donald Trump, let him know there's a veteran that's being conspired at by the state of Pennsylvania and the government officials. Mind you, New York's right above Pennsylvania, right? If Donald Trump was my daddy, like Doug Collins just calls his daddy for everything. Imagine if I called up Donald Trump, hey, Grandpa Trump, thank you for adopting me yesterday, so I can call you Grandpa today. But anyway, yeah, the VA's still fucking with me. Been 12 years, and it's all over a date they entered wrong. Oh, no shit, Maddie? Well, let me just get the Air Force One and the drop pod, and we'll be there in a jiffy. Oh, look at that. There he is. Oh, man, he just came out the sky. That was a jiffy, all right. Now, let me go talk to Donald. Let me go hash out all these bullshit, and let me go show him all the other errors. Because, again, my whole file is filled with nothing but errors. And that they want to call healthcare? I'm going to show him my files and paper. It's great because Donald Trump will come to me, give me sympathy, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go to J.D. Vance and I'm going to ask for his side. Like, You know what I've been through. I want to know what JD's been through at the VA, and then I want to know what Doug Collins has been through at the VA. Because I don't think they went to the same kind of VA I did. JD might have. But Doug Collins, I know, didn't. I know damn well as an officer, he just went place to place, giving him his piece of paper, and them treating him like royalty. When I went place to place giving them my papers, you see what happens. Would they fuck up a data entry error for Royal member? Or anyone? Hello. Would they make that person live 12 years under that fraudulent data? If it was just a normal person of royalty? Hello. So, again, what are they viewing me as, and why is it less than normal? Why do they view me as a shitbag? Why do they assume I'm lying about my injuries despite the test proving I'm right? And mind you, I'm taking your tests. I'm not trying to one-up you. I'm not trying to play a game. You fucked up. You refused to pay me for that fuck up. Now, I'm going back in my inventory of expertise and bringing out my Marine Corps knowledge. In the Marines, what do you do when someone fucks you over for multiple years and then continues to say fuck you and doesn't want to own up to their mistake? What did we do to Bin Laden and Hussein? Hussein got hung. Bin Laden got shot and thrown overboard. Hello. Sounds good for Bob Casey and Joe Biden, in my opinion. But we're not at the end of the year yet. And I don't want to get bloodlusty. You know. I'd rather stay civil. That's why all my threats are words right now, leading up to what I'm going to do next year. And again, the difference a day can make. So don't wait 133 days from now to unfuck the mistake. It should be already unfucked. You should just be picking what day to give me the good news. Hello! You already had the first half of the year. What are you doing with the second? Oh, we're reducing that backlog. Yeah, we went from 25% to 37%. Why isn't it 25, 50, 75, and then 100, Doug? Why isn't it continual? Why is it new bullshit? Because summer's here and we don't want to do work. Huh? Did the fucking school system teach you that work logic? Yeah. Oh, summer. June, July, August, summer break. We can't do work. That's how we were raised. Oh, school's in? Oh, backlog went from 37% to 68%. Oh, man. You think they could get that fucking, 32% done within the next year? Next 3 months? Hello. Anyway, if I was in charge of the VA, we would have consistent data. Not bullshit here, bullshit there, bullshit now, everywhere. Money launder, who cares? Not me, not you, I don't know. What's going on? Anyway, I need in charge, I need president. I need to be the president to save the nation. I need to work with the VA to save the veterans. Basic income, mind you. In my America, we're keeping Social Security, we're keeping Medicare for everyone, previous generations. We're just adding basic income, universal health care. So whenever your private health care decides, we're not covering that because it's private and they can decide that, the universal health care I implement in America, they don't. They care for everyone. And then when the bill comes, they forward it to the country. And then we just have a running total of how much our country invested in keeping people healthy. And we're going to take pride in that number. And that number is not going to be repaid. It's just going to be a continual number, basically like a counter. Because we can't go in debt to ourselves, right? So all we need to do is make sure whatever the hospitals have, like anti-venom, fucking extra blood, shit, under universal health care, you could have just organ farming. And I know that sounds a little weird, but like, if your heart fails, would you rather have a heart that was just 3D printed from organ farming? Or would you rather have a heart from a deceased person that got shot in the head and you're reusing their organs? Hello. Well, I don't want to think about this. This is weird. Yeah, me neither. But like when it comes to surgeries, I want fresh organs, never used before, made for the person it's supposed to be made for. We could 3D print a heart in a week or a month with your blood. There would be no risk of a rejection because it's your DNA. We're just molding the part you need out of it. Mind you, this is science now where we have to create it in a dish. and then surgically implant it. There will be a time where we can just put you in front of a machine where you pop a pill, and frequency will be generated where you can't even see. So it'll be like you're standing there or laying down, and then just boom. Sheet goes over you, and then some audio, some lights flicker, and boom. Your organs replaced through consuming that powder material, the pill, and then it being activated with the lights and frequency. There would be no need for surgery, and all the healthcare would be a one-stop shop and instant. The only thing stopping that is money. Isn't that fucked? How about when it comes to the healthcare side, we expend all resources possible. If we say, oh, we need $10 trillion to make universal healthcare, how about we approve it? Let's load up the fucking hospitals like warehouses with whatever fucking shit they need on standby. Hello. Basic income? You're not going to have people living off the streets, spending money on drugs, and then going to hospitals for housing. That's not going to be how it is. They're going to be responsible. They're going to be using their basic income for housing and their universal health care to make sure they're healthy. Because what's the point of having hospitals in a country if you're not ensuring healthiness? Wow. All 99% of you go to the hospital every day to ensure you're healthy. But that 1% of you continue doing fentanyl and fucking each other and spreading STDs to the point where STDs are now just in the air. So if you cough on someone, they're infected. Oh, wow. Yeah, 99% is susceptible to the 1. Hello. If that 1 is healthy, there's no susceptibility because everyone's healthy. What's stopping that 1% from going to the hospital now? Money. You can't get on private insurance and get covered if you're not working for somebody. Some people don't have the mentality to subject and submit themselves to someone else. I do. I did for the VA, and look where it got me. 12 years later, I'm still waiting. So again, I put all my plans on hold for the VA. You think the VA can unfuck? Again, you only need 10 minutes to unfuck this. That's it. But I will enjoy when the president, commander-in-chief, in charge of all the troops and veterans, comes and visits me in Pennsylvania for this. Hell, maybe he could bring me to Shady Maple. Maybe. I know he'd love Shady Maple. If he went to Shady Maple, I guarantee he would bring a recon for Shady Maple to the White House. Mind you, the White House just got a ballroom budget, right? Last time I went to Shady Maple with my loved ones, where did we sit? The ballroom. Small world, right? Mind you, we went to that ballroom, and then the news broke. He's upgrading the ballroom. Small world. Anyway, I know a lot of people at the White House would love to have a Shady Maple within the White House. I would. But instead of being, trying to get a Shady Maple in my house with no money, I'd just rather go to them. I don't want to interrupt their service. I'll just continue enjoying their good hospitality and service and great food, mind you. Mind you, if you don't like Amish food, there's enough selection there to pick something you do like. Mind you, they have slushy machines. They have ice cream machines. They have ice cream toppers. So, if you get creative, you could go to the pancake station. Then you could go to the ice cream station and make a pancake ice cream taco or whatever the fuck. You could go to the coffee machine. After you go to the ice cream machine, put some vanilla ice cream in there. Boom. You got ice cream serving as your fucking sweetener so you don't have to use sugar. Boom. Ice cream coffee. Boom. Put some Oreos in that bitch. Boom. Dunkin' ice cream coffee at Shady Maple. Boom. There's a lot to do at Shady Maple. If I went every day for food today until the end of my life, I wouldn't have tried all the possible combinations. That's how many combinations are there. Anyway, talking about Shady Maple, I get excited. Talking about the VA, I don't. What's that tell you? All you need to know. How copy? Over.